Hey guys, RC here, back with episode 11. Um, so again, last episode we set it to computer recruiting just to see what difference transpired and if we could figure out what they were doing that we were not. All right, so we we pick up 4 players this week, and we lost a few, 5 more. All right, so let's look at the losses first. I always like to do that. We'll delete that. All right, roster, depth chart. I may have already done this right at the end, but I forgot, so we'll do it again just to make sure. All right, so we want to look at targets, my commits. All right, Marty Orlando. I don't even recognize that name, so that must be one that the computer just went out and snagged. Oh, no, this is to other schools, not my commits. My bad. Lost targets. All right, so Marty Orlando went to K-State out of Louisiana. All right, a 3-star, 10 points. So that was somebody the computer just recruited. All right, and boy, they went after somebody that had a lot of interest. Now, you can't tell right now if because I wasn't after this player, but they didn't interview, scout, or anything else. They just recruited. Local school, hard to tell why we lost them. I would assume that we just didn't have enough points and time on them, but hard to tell. Kenneth Bittner, a defensive tackle, also 10 points, went to Virginia. Same thing. I'm guessing he was already on their board, and we just, for whatever reason, the computer AI is going after teams that already have other people going after them. And boy, they're going way down the list. I mean, I was finding players that were unrecruited in the 100, 120 range, and they're jumping all the way down to 943. Wow. Okay, so not sure that the AI does a really good job flagging players. But, and they went after this guy that they lost anyway to Texas Tech. Again, have not scouted or anything else. So again, those are just, I think those were wasted scholarships. And Daniel Denham, a guard. There he is. Now I had 80 points on him. He ended up going to Auburn. He was out of Puerto Rico. Security, unknown. Nothing else really. Winning should probably be to me, but hard to tell. Okay, so again, I know I was on him, if not the same week, earlier than Auburn. So I'm not sure why I lost this guy, but whatever. Um, and I've been reading a lot of posts on our forum, and basically, we're getting that they don't want to hear our bullshit. So maybe I'm wasting my time with these videos. I hope not, but whatever. Um, I've just tried to stay off of those. I mean, I was bringing up what I thought were some valid points for, getting 3 recruits, losing 40 or more players as, basically a top 10 program in the country, which has to turn away talent. And, uh, some of the other people have kind of ramped it up a notch. I've tried to stay out of that. I hope they take note of that I was not involved in a lot of that, but you know, is what it is. Let's see. All right, Reginald Hammond. All right, we got the number 6 player in the country, a cornerback. Nice. 90 points, so I've been on him for a while. Pop him up to number 2 because I think he's awesome. All right, let's see. LSU and Auburn. Security, don't know. Loyalty, don't know. Winning, playing time. Cornerback. Cornerback was not one that I really needed. I had some corners on my team, so I'm guessing Auburn must as well. So really nothing in there that leads me to believe why I got the player over another team. But you know, hey, you don't turn them away. All right, Daryl King, we got 56 points. We were on him recently, but we've been on him for 6 weeks. Just a few points the first week. Nobody was on him when we went after him. So he's had some other people jump on. Winning, Uz and Clemson. Close to home. Now see, here's another example. New York, you know, Clemson, South Carolina is definitely much closer than Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, you know, we were discussing at the beginning of last video, you know, we had a few players that, you know, that literally that 1 mile evidently made a difference. But then we had, you know, late in last video, we had 2 players that, you know, seemed to go the other way where, you know, we were closer and still lost them. And then here's a case, we got a player and we're farther away. So, you know, it's just confusing to try to understand. That's the point we're trying to make here, guys. We don't understand how these things are applying to this decision on where they're going to go to school. All right, so King, Sweat, and Shiflett. All right, Sweat, LSU out of Mississippi. Cincinnati was on him. How many points did we have on him? Okay, so they just went after him, ranked 758, so well outside my neighborhood that I was recruiting. But they swooped in and got somebody. And it looks like they may have popped him over Cincinnati. Okay, but we don't have any clue as to what his abilities are because we didn't scout him, interview him, or anything else. And then Shiflett, LSU, Clemson, A&M. All right, now here's another example. I mean, only a 72 interest. He's out of Arizona. I've been on him for 3 weeks. So 2 weeks by the computer following up on my initial interest. Tight end, I did have as a need category where I needed somebody. All right, close to home doesn't play a role. Winning, you know, so okay, that one probably could have went Uz or Clemson, but you know, I guess you're just happy when you win them. All right, so that's that. So we're still up to 4 scholarships. All right. So they went after this guy, have not scheduled an interview yet. I tagged that guy, and then the computers followed up 2 weeks. 75%, let's see. So A&M, LSU, Auburn, coming out of Illinois, close to home. Going off of what we've seen before, I am going to think, I'm just going to make a note here, I think Beck goes to Auburn if with that close to home. But again, we've seen several examples last episode and one this episode where that didn't actually transpire. Anyway, so let's go ahead and sim out the week. Sorry for the quietness, just really nothing to say while this is going about its business. Alright, let's go home. Alright, we beat Central Florida 23-10. We finished the conference season 6-2. We have a one-game lead over Ole Miss. Ole Miss has their season finale against Mississippi State. Wow, so Ole Miss technically, let's see, Ole Miss beat us. So if they beat Mississippi State, then we would be tied, and they would probably take the division in the tiebreaker. Okay? So we are concerned about that because Mississippi State's, well, they're 5-0 at home. Maybe they play at home. Let's see. All right, training report, nothing. Conference awards. All right, so we picked up 3 more recruits. Looks like we lost some more. All right, let me snap the names here. And there we go. All right, so we're going to delete that. Let's see, overview. Yep, we play the Cajuns this week. Roster, depth chart, game plan, and recruiting. All right, so let's look at targets only. Now it's, I don't know if they're giving out all the scholarships every week. It's hard to tell. Lost targets. All right, let me see if I can sort these by position to find them better. All right, Lieberman, we were after him. We had 90 points. We lost him to Texas. He never really developed the interest that we thought, and we almost came off him, I think, a couple of times. Loyalty, don't know. Close to home. Now see, here's another perfect example. Don't know what loyalty does. Winning should be equal or better because Texas has actually been down the last handful of seasons. Close to home. You're coming from Vermont down to the southeast. You actually cross over Louisiana to get to Texas. So, last episode, the episode before, we've seen where sometimes that close to home goes where, yes, you're just that much. I mean, remember those guys from Washington went to Texas instead of Louisiana, and now we've got a guy from Vermont going to Texas instead of Louisiana. So, Texas can't be closer in both directions. It just can't be. And I live in Texas, and I'm from Louisiana, so I kind of know what I'm talking about there, geographically speaking. So that's another one that makes no sense. If it comes down to the distance and everything else was equal, should not have lost that guy. No reason whatsoever. All right, the next guy is a defensive back, Giovanni Vickers, 10 points, no scouting. So that was one that just went to from the computer, went to West Virginia, and he's from West Virginia. They've probably been on that guy, and again, they're down in the 750s. Now, I guess if you go down into the 700s and 900s, you're going to see a lot more players available than the players up in the 100 range, But so let that be something that you guys at lower prestige schools are looking at too. You can go up into those categories and maybe get them. But that, it just looks like the computer wasted a scholarship offer on somebody that was basically already tied up. Now, he had a 95 interest after that 1 week, but you know, it didn't really do anything for us. Um, Defensive end is the next guy, Alexander Cantwell, 10 points, 80 interest. Again, they didn't scout. They didn't. So he's not scouting. He's not doing anything. Louisiana State, Texas Tech, Houston, Texas Christian, and he went to Texas Tech. So can't judge why he left. And Craig Beck, strong safety. All right, so here's 5 strong safeties that we've lost this year. Now this guy, we had 40 points, so this goes back to my time making the decisions. So we added him when he had nobody on him. He went to Auburn, A&M, Auburn, LSU, and close to home, coming from Illinois. And Beck, I put down, I thought I would lose him to Auburn because of that close to home. So coming down from, say, Illinois right here, Auburn, Baton Rouge, you know, that little bit of distance, even though you're coming north to south instead of at an angle, like Vermont or Washington, still cost us. So I'm seeing it cost us a lot in both directions, but we do have some examples, 2 or 3, that it worked the other way, where they should have went somewhere else and they did not. So, again, there's, it's just inconsistency. That's what I'm seeing, inconsistency and stuff that doesn't make sense. And that's all I'm looking for, is trying to make it make sense. And if I'm a bad person for that, well, so be it. Fournier we got, so we picked up another quarterback, which we needed 2. We ended up with 3, and we got 2 in the top 56, so that's good. This guy got, it was a reach, but we can redshirt him maybe, or maybe let him play and redshirt one of these guys. Scouting report, 82 points, so we've been on him for a while. Ole Miss, Ohio State, LSU. Was this the guy that Ohio State was after and they were the only one and we got on him? I don't remember. He's out of... No. Amboy, that's right. We were talking about Ted Nugent. Nobody was on him. I got on him early. Now Ole Miss, Ohio State. All right, playing time. I needed quarterbacks badly. Market size, Big Ten, SEC. Winning, Ohio State, LSU, Ole Miss, probably in that order. So, I don't know what their quarterback situation was, but I can certainly see having a shot at him. So, hey, just glad to have gotten one. Let's see. The next guy was Rodriguez, a center. All right, so I got a center. I needed one, or I wanted one. Number 931. So this is one they just went after this past week. Did not scout him, did not do anything with him, have no idea what he's going to look like. I think this is a reason why, following that guy's suggestion, let's see if anybody responded to that yet. 9 views, no replies yet. All right, so hopefully that comes out. So DISP, I couldn't remember the guy's name. So this is, that's why you want to kind of schedule your interviews first, and I mean, we've got the points, so he's not scouting anybody. All right, so that could be a concern. Why is the AI not scouting anybody? They're not spending any of the scouting points. They haven't scheduled interviews. They haven't assigned any scouting points. If they had, then we'd have a bar here, or we'd have data filled in here. So all they're doing is recruiting. So does auto recruit not assign any scouting points? My thinking is, if I turn it on computer to do recruiting, the computer is going to do everything it can to the best of its ability. Please let us know if that's not the case. That would be really helpful to know, because I know some people have turned on auto recruiting. So if they're not going to do any scouting, then that's kind of pointless. I want to make a note here. Scouting by AI. Not happening. Alright. So anyway, we got him. And Richard Boisvert. Another quarterback. No. Richard. Oh, he's hidden. Why is... are you kidding me? Okay, so I hid this guy. He only had a 56 interest. Alabama, Auburn, 5 stars, number 10. Homa. Wasn't this the guy that Alabama was gung-ho on and I thought I was going to lose him and I came off of him and so I hit him and they went ahead and re-offered him and he signed? Are you kidding me? Wow. All right, that's just stunning. How the hell does that happen? I come off the guy. I hide him because I'm done recruiting him because I know Alabama's got him locked up. He's still being recruited. And he signs with us anyway. Yeah, because he was the one out of Houma, Louisiana, and I said, damn, he's a homegrown kid, and but playing close to home doesn't matter, and his interest level never went up. I mean, he stayed down the whole time. I mean, hell of a signing for us, but that's a guy I completely would have lost because I came off of him based on what the scouting report was telling me, and I thought it was a lost cause after 6 weeks. And 5 weeks, I moved on. Holy crap. Well, okay, what the hell do I know? Alright, well, I'm really ready to wrap the video up. Let me see how much time we got left in this one. 23 minutes. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sim the rest of the season. Because I'm about done. I'm just toasted. And then when the National Signing Day comes, we'll go back and we'll look at the last handful of signings, or whatever. I will make a note of the players currently on my list. But anyway, I think what we can deduce from this point, there's still so many questions that we don't understand and that don't make a lot of sense. There's, well, I tell you what, let me come back in the next video. I'll just do a recap of that, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.